Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. And today is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. We're in the final hour of the trading day. My favorite time to make my trades for my swing trades is at the end of the day in the last hour, particularly in the last few minutes. During the day, you have the algorithms and the day traders, and they are controlling the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in. They're dealing with the vast amount of money. They have very smart people, best technology, best information, and they start to take control away from the day traders and the algorithms, and they start controlling the price. I feel like there is an edge in following what they are doing. So that is why I prefer to make my buying and selling decisions in the last hour, in particularly in the last few minutes. So thank you all for coming today. It's always nice to see everybody. I always look forward to this time of the day to be able to see my trading friends. And I really appreciate you making the time, investing the time, and I hope it's helping to improve your trading and your investing results. So, wow, what a day. The Dow Jones is up 153 points, up 0.54%. The NASDAQ is up 16.81, up 0.14%, and the S&P is up 15.8.46%. We were down deep in the red early on. Boy, last night the futures were way down. I was like, oh man, my overnight SPY trade is going to get brutalized. But you can never tell. You can never tell. I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, okay, not so bad, not so bad. So, all right, well, listen, here's the format for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. Did have some day trades today, so I will be sharing those with you as well. And happy to say the day trading streak is alive on day 16. After that, we're going to go through the board, take a look at your trades, see how they're doing. I see a few of them up there are doing really well. I see one of them there that is unbelievably up. That's Johan. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Good for Johan for sure. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes on talking about trader psychology. I mention this each day, but it's worth repeating each day that the greatest skill that you can acquire in becoming a trader is the skill of discipline. And that all comes down to dealing with fear and greed and your emotions. And so the real skill is creating a plan, following the plan, and that comes down to trader psychology. So I do like to talk about that every day as well. After that, I've gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. Quite a few good potential end of day entries today. So we'll go through each one of those, break those down real quick. 3 requirements, you know what they are. Number 1, confluence or combination of indicators lining up, ideally on multiple time frames. Number 2, you have to have a good risk to reward ratio, even if you have a good confluence of signals. Sometimes you can have a great confluence of signals, but the risk to reward doesn't make sense. So you need to have that. You need to have a good risk to reward ratio as well. And then number 3, take a few minutes each day. Consider how many positions you have, how much account heat you have, or in other words, what percentage of your capital is at risk. Anytime you have a position, it is at risk. 60% is the maximum that I would ever use, and that's in an ideal situation if I have valid positions enough to get me up to 60%. You don't have to be at 60%. So those are the 3 requirements. We're going to go through the results. I'm going to try to narrow them down at the end of the day and try to pick the very, very best one that has the best confluence of indicators, the best risk to reward ratio, and always keeping in mind my correlation of my current positions and my account heat. Then if I find that at the end of the day, I'll go ahead and place the trade at the end of the day. And then when the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them for you. If you need a clarification on anything, please let me know. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the close of the market, just go ahead, put them in the live stream, and I'll do my very best to get to them before the close of the market. And then lastly, if you have any new additions or subtractions for me to update on the board, if you could please wait until the end of the day so that the market's closed, I'm done trading, pressure's off, and I'll get them all updated correctly for you. Okay, so that's the plan. That's the plan. Sound good? So hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who's here today. Quad is here. Good to see you, Quad. Hope you're having a good day. Dan is here. Hi, Greg and everyone. Hey, Dan, good to see you, bud. Hey, Kamal, good seeing you. And always fun, as always, sharing our trades. And Kamal and I had the same day trade today. So that was kind of fun. Usually we don't, but that was good and it worked out. Bob is here. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Hope you're having a nice day. Hi, Steve Burns. Steve says hello, everyone. Hey, Steve. Good to have you here. Always appreciate you being here. I'm always excited to see you. I know everyone else is as well. So thank you as always, and hope you're having a good day. Miko25 is here. Hey, good to see you. Hope you are doing well, sir. Zach is here. Hello, Greg and the Gossett. So good to hear and learn from you each day, Greg. Oh, thank you, Zach. That means a lot. Thanks, my friend. That's very nice of you. Gary says, hello, Greg and group. Hello, Gary. Nice to have you here. Frank says, hello, Greg and group. Hi, Frank. Good to see you. Quad says, thoughts on KMX today? Let's take a look at old KMX. It's not bad. Not bad. We have a V1. We have a false breakout to the downside. We have a rejection of the 200-day moving average. We have a double bottom with a bullish divergence. Actually, the more and more I look at this, the more I like it. We have the double bottom and bullish divergence. Here's the low, rallied to green, come down to low. That's pretty good. That's actually quite good. I'm gonna write this one down. Thanks for pointing that out. Let me do a little quick math on this. And let me put it over here. You know, used car dealers are one of the big beneficiaries of what's going on right now. So I will definitely put that on the list. That looks definitely worth looking at. Okay. Karen is here. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Evan says, good afternoon. Thoughts on UPRO? All right. It's good. Yeah, it's good. There's some other signals here very similar to this, different S&P products, but we come into the value zone. We have 2 days sidewards. We have a V1. We have a rejection of the 50. We're over the 50 RSI. Yeah, it's good. It's really, really good, actually. It's a very defined risk to reward, halfway the washout bar you'd get out there. Yep. Karen says FLIR. This one I don't like as much. We made this base here, big bar down, day one bar. We did go down and come back up. Kamal, if you're listening, this is exactly what I'm talking about. When you have a base, you make the V1, and it takes you a long way to come back up. Yes, it is a false breakout to the downside from this range. It is a V2, but it took a lot of movement to get back up there. And that day one bar here had a lot of volume, and it had a lot of and it was larger than one ATR down. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, Kamal. Coming down, having a deep washout, coming back up. The way that I look at this is a lot of the move has already been taken from here to here. Steve says, 1 month of VIX failing to break over the 200-day moving average continued again today. Yes, VIX is not doing so hot. My VIX trade's not doing so hot today, for sure. And here we are over on the VIX, the 1030 EMA. Every time we get up to that 200-day moving average, we seem to have issues. The 10 is still above the 30. It is so I'm going to stick with my VIX calls, even though they're underwater at this point, because the 10 is still above the 30. Let's see. Frank has a poem for us. What trader doesn't love Lady Luck? Absolutely, for sure. But luck doesn't endure. And if you rely on luck to make your next buck, it won't be long before you find yourself stuck. Boy, is that true. As always, Frank, thank you. Let me add this so I can post that later. That's right on the money, though. What trader doesn't love Lady Luck? Absolutely, for sure, but luck doesn't endure. And if you rely on luck to make your next buck, it won't be long before you find yourself stuck. You know, there's that old saying, would you rather be lucky or would you rather be good at something? And I think if you're good at something, you make your own luck. How about that? Thank you, Frank. Thank you. That's fantastic. So true. Steve says, VIX not so hot tamale for long SPY put options or VIX calls. No, it is not. It is definitely not, for sure. But look, we have our signals. We take them. Of course, they don't always work out. But, you know, if we would have just randomly decide to buy VIX calls or randomly decide to buy SPY puts, and it goes down, then that's on us, right? But when we have a signal, we always know that it doesn't, no guarantee that it's going to work out. You take your signals and you take them. That's all there is to it. Steve says, another Disney 1050 EMA crossover in the middle of the market chop fest. Yeah, I have that. I have that one. I almost took that one yesterday with the 520, but I decided to wait for this signal here, which looks like it's going to be triggering and valid at the end of the day. All right, well, let's get to it. Gold, also not so hot. I did take gold yesterday when we had the 520 crossover. Fortunately, I only bought a half a position. I didn't like that we'd rejected this previous high and it was a bit extended. So the 5 is still over the 20, so the signal is still in place. What I'm going to do today, as long as the 5 is above the 20, I'll add my other second half of the position. So it's not, in a way, I'm averaging down, but not really, because that was my plan from the get-go. I'm buying here because I didn't really like how it looked, but in case it took off, I wanted to have some. And then if it came back down, gave me a better entry price for my second half, then that was my plan. And so that's what I will do. Now, if the 5 crossed under the 20 by the end of the day, I would not take it and I would get out of the entire move. You know, it's weird. When you do this, you don't know if you're hoping for it to go up or to go down, so you can add your second half. But I feel like adding the second half is pretty good risk to reward at this point, because the 5 is barely above the 20. And if it does close below, then for sure, I'll know exactly where to get out. So anyway, fortunate that I only bought half here today. Felt like I had a pretty good read on that. I didn't like that we rejected the 50. I didn't like that we rejected the previous high, but with crossovers, You don't have to take that in consideration because they're mechanical, but I'm glad that I did. And as long as the 5 stays above the 20, I'll add my second half here. SPY. All right, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. That's where I feel like the edge is in this approach, and I sell it first thing the next morning. This is based upon a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders. She's at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. She's the chief investment officer at Charles Schwab. Since 1993, they tested two back-tested approaches. One, buy the SPY at the open, right at the open, hold it all the way through the day, sell it at the close. If you use this every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative, not 13.9%. However, if you do the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell first thing the next morning, this returned a positive 634.2%. So big difference between negative 13.9 and positive 634.2. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's true, goes for any trading approach. It may never work again in history, a day in history. But as I always say, if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be towards something that has good back-tested results. Blue line, buy the close, sell the next morning. Orange line, buy the morning, sell the same day close. Not even close. Blue line over time has just gone up. Orange line has done nothing and is actually negative. If you're considering using this approach, be consistent with it. Start out with a small position size, like maybe 5% of your position size. That's not your risk, that's your total purchasing, 5%, right? So if you had $100,000, 5% of that's $5,000. You buy $5,000 of the SPY at the close, sell it for hopefully $5,000 plus a little bit more the next morning. As I mentioned, I saw the futures last night and I thought, oh man, my SPY trade is going to get absolutely hammered. But as always, it fakes me out. And I got in yesterday at 342.64 and I got out at 342.92. So not a big win, but a win nonetheless. And I'll be buying this again at the close of the day. I also have a crossover trend trade going on here with SPY. I bought it here at 333.82 with the 1050 cross. Has moved up nicely on this big leg. I scaled out of a bunch here. Here we closed below the previous day's low. First time that happened after reaching my 1 ATR level point. I locked in profits here, half of my profits, and the last few days have just been really bouncy, really ping-pongy. Hit a profit target, hit a profit target, hit a profit target, hit a profit target. Have not yet hit this profit target here, but still nicely up on the day. And every time it goes up, I hit that profit target. I have fewer and fewer shares left. So anyway, very happy with that trade. VIX, not so happy with this trade. It was really doing well. I bought it right about here. I bought it at $2.91. I bought calls on this because the 1030 EMA crossover on VIX, I was nicely up on the trade. Now I am down on the trade. I bought it at 294 and right now it is at $256 on the price of the calls. So not down too much, but anyway, I am still sticking with it because of the 1030 crossover. Qs. All right, I did buy the Qs back here at 277.80 with the 520 cross. Moved up nicely, took some profits. Next day, we had that big kind of fake out bar to the downside. The price closed below both the 5 and the 20. That was a warning sign. I sold half of my shares. Didn't want to sell them all, but I sold half of my shares because that happened. Glad I kept the other half because then I was able to take advantage of this nice big run up. Of course, I phase out all the way up. Here, I sold half of my position when it finally closed below the previous day's low, locked in profits up there, and reduced my position size significantly. Ever since then, we kind of have moved down. The Qs are down $1.17 today. This is setting up for a really nice potential V2 tomorrow. Return to value, sideways motion, washout. It would be valid if today closed above yesterday's close. That would be a V1, but possibly we get a V2 tomorrow. So anyway, still nicely up on the trade. If we got back down to my break-even point, I would exit the trade with a profitable trade because of all the scaling out and profits that I took up here. So that is it, right? Gold, 2 SPYs, the VIX trade down, Q's down on the day, but up on the trade. Disney, all right, day 16 of the once-in-a-lifetime day trading record that I've had lately. It's just unbelievable. Every morning I wake up and think, how am I going to do this again? I don't know. But somehow I did. I did buy Walt Disney on the 5-minute. Here we had this big up bar, big, strong candle. We moved up. I didn't want to buy it. I wanted some support below me. Here we came back down. We bounced off the 50-day moving average. We bounced off the 50 RSI, and we had all the moving average under a support. So I went in here and bought it at 126.73. And to my pleasant surprise, it immediately bounced. I got out of half of my position here, excuse me, after we had this big bar up that got sold into and came back down. So I got out of half of my position there at 127.39. Then I had a close below the previous day's low, got out of the another half at 127.28, leaving me only a quarter position left. And then I was looking for a rejection of the 70 RSI. It didn't quite get there. So if it never quite gets there to the 70, you don't want to let it come all the way back down. So I used the close below the 5-day EMA as my stop for the balance. So I got in at 126.73, got out at 127.28, 127.39, and 127.48. So that was a good one. And then Apple, I had 1 winning trade and 1 losing trade. My losing trade was by myself. My winning trade was with Kamal. Here was my losing trade. We came back down. We bounced, made a higher low V1 here with MACD being positive. I felt pretty good about that. I bought at 115.34, but immediately the next bar got me out at 115.18. So I got in at 115.34 and I stopped out for a loss at 115.18. However, I was not deterred, and many times this will happen. You'll get a signal that will then fail. Don't be scared if you get another valid signal to go ahead and get in. And this was my signal. Look at this nice V2. Here's day 1, 2, 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 closes above day 1's close. We washed out the previous low. I got in here intra-bar at 115.22. After a couple bars, it moved up nicely. Started putting me in the profit pretty decently. Whenever I get some profit on a day trade, I usually take off a half or a third, like almost, kind of my rule of thumb is if I look at it and go, oh, hey, look at that, pretty good. That's the signal for me to get out of some. So I did get out of some here at 15.46. I got out of some more here at, 15.46. I got out of some more here at 15.51. And then here, there was really no reason for me to sell here other than I just felt like the trade was enough. If I would have waited till the end of the bar, I would have gotten out here, but I got out at 15.92. So got in at 15.22, out at 15.46, out at 15.51, and out at 15.92. And Kamal had that same trade. I think yours was, you got in just a little bit earlier than I did. Okay, so those are the day trades. 2 winners, 1 loser, but I will take it. I will definitely take it. Okay, now, Frank, I always forget, I made a special note today. Frank did buy Apple here at 115.22. Average price. No, that's not true. That's my data. Much better, down at 111, and now it's 115.91. Only down 95 cents today. Has had a pretty good comeback, so congratulations, Frank. This is setting up for a beautiful this is setting up for a beautiful return to value V2. I have a feeling, though, if there's news on the stimulus or anything else overnight, it will gap, and we'll probably have a big gap for the V2, in which case I couldn't take that. So anyway, that's how it's going. That's how it's going. So, hey, Mr. Muster, how you doing? SPWR, SunPower Corporation. Yes, it does have a V1, Yavar. However, it's a V1, but in my opinion, it's not a valid V1. Here's day one, here's day two. Day one goes below day one, closes above. That is true. It is a V1 technically, but the setup's not correct. It would need to come into the value zone. It would need to move sideways for a couple days, then have a V1 or V2. I also have a rule that if bar 1 is larger than 1 ATR, see from here to here's 1 ATR, from here to here is 1 ATR, you can just see that this bar, the length of this bar is longer than 1 ATR, meaning that there was some extraordinary amount of selling yesterday to get it to go down. So I don't like buying right up against a day that had huge selling. Sometimes it works, but not the majority of the time. Jatin, how you doing? Hello, sir. The more Google stays above 1580, it has higher chance of reaching 1720. Yeah, whenever, the longer you can stay above a moving average, the better, for sure. Jackson, hey buddy, good to see you. Hey Greg, sorry I didn't watch the rest of your podcast yesterday. Was just checking my algo code and been busy buying an RV as we were traveling around the coast of Australia. Love to chat on Skype. Yes, we are going to. I have just been so busy with putting this PowerPoint together, Jackson. Kamal hears me complain about it all the time. It's just been unbearable, but I'm going to get through it. So as soon as I get that, I have a bit of a deadline. So as soon as I get that done, we will chat. But thanks for coming today. Appreciate it. Gary says, Jackson, that is awesome. Safe travels. I hope to get to Australia one day. Thanks, Gary. Some truly amazing, breathtaking coastline. If you ever come hit me up, happy to suggest some places. Yavar says, thanks a lot. Yeah, I just want to give you my best opinion, and that is definitely my best opinion on SPWR. All right, let's get to it. Let me come over here, check this, blah, 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 and check that. Bum, bum, bum. All right, MBB. Who had MBB? Nobody had MBB. Why do I have it on this list? All right, I'll take that off. Facebook, oh my gosh, it's green. Fantastic. So Kamal bought Facebook at $269. Similar to what I was talking about with gold. Had the crossover but wanted to wait for a dip. So the crossover is still in place. Bought the dip at $269. Got out of a third of it yesterday. Steve also took Facebook yesterday with the 1050 SMA cross. He bought it at 278.87 and it's at 278.83. So down 4 cents, but I'm sure Steve is glad that we have bounced way off of the low. So anyway, so far pretty dang good. Intel. Gary doing well on Intel. He sold puts down at put spreads down at the 4540s expiring November 20th. It is at 54.06. So has about $9 of protection expiring November 20th. So he's nicely in the money on selling that premium. Look at this, everybody. The great Johan has spoken. Look at this trade. My gosh, it was a nice setup too. Double bottom with a bullish divergence. Here's the bottom, big red. We rally to green. We make a lower low with just a little red. just barely poked its head down. Kamal, if you're listening, that's what I'm talking about. Just the little pokes instead of the real big moves down, the little pokes. And then his trigger was here at 1332. It's at 1612. It is up 15.63 points today. Johan from entry to exit, 17.29%. I should send this chart to Dr. Alexander Elder because he would be proud, because this is a really beautiful double bottom here with bullish divergence and entry. So if I know Johan, he is probably scaling out of this. If he's not scaling out of this, I would, at this point, with the close above the 200-day moving average, I would get out with the close under the 200. But fantastic trade, Johan. Very, very proud of you. RBA. Mark bought RBA back here at, oh, this is Ritchie Brothers, 60.61. It is 61.66. It's up a little on the day and up on the trade. Walmart down today. Brian bought Walmart at 140.69. It is 143.69. So up $3 on the trade so far. A little down on the day, but nicely up on the trade. AQN. Mark bought AQN at 15.29. It's 15.61, down 0.89% today, but up on the trade. So that's good. EA, Brian bought EA at 132.70. It is now 126.98. He only bought a half a position, so it is down on the day and down on the trade. Google, we were just talking about Google, extremely strong here. Gary sold puts down to $1,200. It is $1,620. So he has $420 in protection till November 20th, but very likely he's in the 82% of the premium that he's going to get already. So fantastic. We do have earnings coming up there as well. Keep that in mind. LVGO, Frank bought LVGO at 132.50, sold half the next day with a slight profit, kept the other half, and it's run pretty nicely. It is down today, but he's still up net on the trade. CRM, Brian bought CRM at 251.20. It is now 250.26, down 1.56%. So barely down on the day, or barely down on the trade, but and down on the day. TTWO, Brian bought at 168.80. It is now 164. Only bought a half a position, fortunately, well off of its lows for the day. So down on the day, down on the trade. Match, Johan and Kamal bought Match here at 111.10. Has moved up nicely. As of yesterday, Kamal had exited 2/3. Right now it is down a little bit. I don't know if Johan has scaled out, but I assume he has scaled out also. So anyway, very nice trade there with the dynamic duo of Johan and Kamal. Whenever I see Johan and Kamal have a trade, I swear it's always green, which is a good thing. INSG quad. I don't know, buddy. Are you still in this? I have you in this at 10:38, but I imagine that you're out of this. Maybe I asked you yesterday and I just forgot to update it. And last but not least is UGL. Steve did buy UGL yesterday, which is double leverage gold at 71.06. It is down today. It is down today, 2.25%, but it looks like GLD is still, the 520 crossover is still in place. So I'm not sure if Steve's getting out here or not, but metal's not doing so hot today. Okay. Let me make a little adjustment here. Okay. All right. Steve says AGQ currently has a 520 crossover. Oh, I didn't look at that one today. Let's take a look. 46.59, 46.59. If they're even, they count. Okay, interesting. I think like I said before, I'm going to add my second portion of gold today. That is a valid crossover if it holds. I won't be taking it because I already have metals, and so I don't want to add silver to my gold. It's great if they both go up, but it's not so great if they both go down. You know what I mean? Look at this HA, up 16% now on the day. Wow. Johan may be up flying. He's a 777 pilot. He may be up flying and he doesn't even know. Who knows? Maybe he has. I guess he has internet up there, right? All right. So listen, we have a lot of potentials to go through today. But before we do, I just quickly want to talk a little bit about trader psychology, some good trading words of wisdom, things outside of technicals, more in the psychological realm, or, just some good, like I said before, trading words of wisdom to help out trading. A lot of great Facebook pages out there, a lot of great Twitter pages out there. But my all-time favorite is my friend Steve Burns, who's in the chat with us right now. This is from the New Traders, Rich Traders page over on Facebook. Really good over there. Really good channel. Is that what we call it? And you have to apply to get in. But anyway, apply, because there's some great traders there. There's Steve, and there's Kamal, there's Tom Basso, Akil. So myself's over there. So if you get a chance, apply to that channel, and we'll see you over there. But let's see what Steve has to say. Set a stop loss like a pessimist at entry, but use a trailing stop like an optimist if the trade goes in your favor. I talk about this in a lot of different ways, and it's so true. Again, most people get fearful when they have a win. They don't want to give it back, right? I'm guilty of that. Over the years, I've overcome it pretty well, but that's my natural setting. And when they have a loss, they get hopeful. I used to be like that. I am not like that anymore. If I have a loss, I am fearful, and that's how you should be. But when you have a gain, you should be hopeful. I'm a little fearful of a loss and a little fearful of giving up a gain. So, that's where I need to work on it. But most people get super comfortable and optimistic and hopeful when they have a loss, but when it gets into a gain, they get real fearful. So this is basically another way of saying this. Set a stop loss like a pessimist at entry. Be pessimistic about it. Say, yeah, it's probably going to lose. I've told everybody this a lot of times. I go into every trade assuming I'm going to lose, so that if it is a loss, I go, aha, I'm right. I was right, and because I'm right, I'm getting out because I was right. If you go into a trade without any thought of a loss and it turns into a loss, you're like, well, that's not even conceivable, right? So be pessimistic when you set that entry, but if it starts moving your way, use a trailing stop like an optimist. Be optimistic if the trade goes in your favor. So hopeful when the trade's winning, fearful when the trade's losing. That's what you need to do. So thanks, Steve, for that. Appreciate it. Excuse me. Okay, well, let's get to it here. As we mentioned before, CarMax does look pretty good. I have to say, we have this see this whole move of this bottom. The red MACD bars means a lot of momentum to the downside. We did rally. Dr. Alexander Elder calls this breaking the back of the bear. This is the bear, and it was able to go up, painted a little bit of green. Now we've come back down, tested this low with hardly any red. Deep red, green, barely any red. and a V1 false breakout to the downside. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is that we are right in the middle of yesterday's halfway bar. See, here's halfway. This is right where we've got to it. That's the only thing that's concerning. Disney. Okay, let me get rid of Disney here. Or I mean, not get rid of Disney, but get rid of those entries. Disney does have the 1050 EMA crossover, and I like the position it's in. It's right at the one ATR channel. If it's above the second ATR channel, I won't take it. I do kind of like it. Disney's been strong all day long. It was strong even when it was up, even when the market was down, which I like for the relative strength. So I do quite like Disney here. This is a valid crossover. Doesn't mean the crossover is going to work this time, but over time it has. So that's definitely a consideration. DKNG, we have a nice confluence down here of a 100-day moving average. We bounced off of the third ATR channel, and we have a V1. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but this stock scares me. I like on the weekly that we're in the value zone, right? Better than buying up here, buying back in the value zone. That's the smart move, right? On the weekly. And then on the daily, I mean, this is a legitimate trigger, so that one is definitely a consideration as well. Give me 1 second. Okay. CBOE, not even close to the rest of them, so I'm going to take that one off. It is under 30 RSI. AFLAC is pretty dang good. We have in the value zone, we have sideways motion, we have false breakout to the downside, we have a V1, we have a bullish engulfing bar, under 50, over 50. I mean, this one has it all. This one has it all. If we go to the weekly, right in the value zone. Only thing here, we have earnings on the 27th, so this one's definitely a consideration. SPXL is a beautiful return to value V1. It's return to value, couple days sidewards, V1, looks really good. This is 3 times leverage, so be careful. Keep that in mind. I'm not going to buy this one today because I already have the overnight SPY trade and I already have the 1050 EMA crossover trade. XLV Healthcare, pretty good here. Made a lower high, washed out the low. It's a little high in the channel between the -1 and the 1 ATR channel. It's under 50, over 50, plus a V2, false breakout downside. I mean, it's pretty good, but I definitely can't take these all. Zynga is quite interesting also. Big bullish engulfing bar above the 50 RSI. We have a crossover. Let's look over on the weekly. On the weekly, we have a V1 up 2.31% today. PEGA has a nice false breakout to the downside with the V1, but it's over the 1 ATR channel, so that's a little high for me. Inseego Corporation. Oh, INSG. I don't know if Quad has this or not. I liked it earlier when it was back in the value zone, but now it's lost the value zone and the 200, so I'm going to take that off. INFN. V1, bounce off the 1 ATR channel. We came into the value zone. We only had 1 day sideways. We're right up here against a bunch of resistance, so I'm going to take that one off. Wing looks like an under 30, over 30 with the V1 with the confluence of the 200-day and the 1 ATR channel. It's pretty good. I just feel like the risk to reward, I feel like this one's a little chasey now. So that's just my honest opinion. Verizon, pretty nice here with the V1. But again, I think it's a little chasey. Your stop would be all the way back down here to the 200, your stop would be all the way down here to the 30. That's quite a bit further down. From here to here is your risk. Can you make this much to the upside to make it worth 2 to 1? I kind of don't think so, but I could be wrong. SPY. Oh, we have this on here? Yeah, it makes sense. Return to value, 2 days sideways, and a V1. I mean, it's valid. It's definitely valid, but I'm not taking it because I have the overnight SPY trade and I also have the crossover trade. Expedia, well, that's doing pretty well, but it's chasey, very chasey. The risk to reward doesn't make sense. JP Morgan, very strong. V2, close above the 200-day, right up there near that second ATR channel. So this is just too high for me to buy. Very well could go higher, but not for me. CRTO, higher low V1, kind of a big bar yesterday, stuck at the 1 ATR channel, so no. KMI, Kinder Morgan having a strong day, false breakout to the downside, plus the V2. Looks like we have a crossover. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we have a lot of these setups and these patterns are exactly the same. It's right here at the 1 ATR channel, so I'm going to let that one go. And JetBlue, whoa, super fantastic, but up at the second ATR channel, so the risk to reward doesn't make sense. So let's see if we can whittle our way through these and see what's the best one. What's sticking out in my mind is we got stopped right at the halfway of yesterday's bar. So just for that very reason, I mean, it is a good setup. There's no doubt about it, but I'm just going to take that one off. Disney, I like Disney because it's Disney. It has a nice crossover that's good back-tested approach. So Disney is definitely something I'm going to buy today. DKNG, you know, it's pretty good. I have to say it's a good risk to reward ratio. This stock scares me, so I'm gonna put that one off to the side. Aflac, we got stuck right at halfway of last week's bar. Stop would have to be about here. I guess it gives it a 2 to 1. All right, I'll have to revisit that one more time. Healthcare. We're over halfway of 3 days ago, big down bar, but we're right up next to the 1 ATR channel. Zynga's a $9 stock. That concerns me. Just so many good ones here. Maybe 2.72% to the upside, maybe 1.74 to the downside. So it's not quite 2 to 1. Dang it, I'm going to have to just let that one go. I don't like to, but I'm going to let it go. All right. So I'm going to buy Disney, and I am going to buy the second half of my gold. That's the plan for me. Oh, there's the weed whacker outside. Right in time for the podcast. All right. I already got there. Okay. Sorry about the sound, everybody. All right. So gold, I'm adding my second half of my gold position because we still have the 520 crossover. I am going to add Disney with the 1050 SMA. And I'm going to buy my overnight SPY trade. And that's it. Quads out of INSG. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I think I told you yesterday I would have, if you would have been in that, I would have said, Quad, why are you doing this? Jackson says, totally, and assuming it's a loss, also keep your ego in check. Too often, I think human ego prevents us from seeing or accepting reality. Might be okay for telling a fishing story, but not for trading. That's true. All right, this is TQ. Well, it's setting up nicely for a V1. It's not quite there, though, is it, Kamal? Close 138.42 and we're at 138.39. So this is a completely valid side, return to value sideways motion. But it has not triggered yet, but it's the same formation as the Qs themselves, just a little ahead of it. Kamal says, I have DKNG. Oh, that's right. From 41, holy smokes. Kamal, beautiful, bud. What a day, Kamal. For 41 even, wow. Nice going. Nice going, my friend. Man, you're up a whopper already. Tracy is here. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. Hi, all. Got in late. 8 to 5. Number 8 to 5. Steve says, I'm long Disney. Okay. At 127 on the 1050 crossover. I'm following you on that. I'm still holding the SPY put, UGL, and Facebook. 10-4. Quad says, don't worry, Greg. I always follow my rules. Well, good. I feel like I would have failed you. Okay, so we have about 6 minutes. I'm going to be buying Disney, and I'm buying my second half of gold. So I'm going to go ahead and buy my second half of gold here right now. Where's my numbers? Okay. Okay, added my second half gold there. And now I will be adding my second half gold here. Okay. So gold is taken care of. Buying SPY at the close, and then I'm going to buy Disney here at the close because of the 1050 EMA crossover. So it should be interesting to see what happens here towards the end of the day. So there's kind of a big down bar on Disney there. Okay. Dan says, a frank quote, I regret that I have, but one thumb up. Oh, nice. We all only get one thumb up, Frank says. You know it, Dan. That's good stuff. All right, so I'm just waiting here to the end to buy my Disney. Looks like we're selling off here a little after hour or before the close. You know, that's the thing about waiting till the end of the day. If you wait till the end of the day, sometimes you get just the highest price. But if the market rallies in the last little bit and you buy a little early, then you get a little better price sometimes. So you never quite know. I just try to wait till the end of the day just so it takes the decision off my mind. Sometimes it's going to work better for me. Sometimes it's going to work against me. But everything I try to do is just to make things simpler and have me make fewer decisions. All right, 1 minute to go. A lot of volume. Look at this volume on Walt Disney in the last 5 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. This is when people making decisions. All right, I'm gonna buy. Okay. 15 seconds left. Wow. Okay. Well, that's that. So, so here's the plan now. Market's closed. If you have any questions about anything I did today, please just don't be shy. Put your question in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer it. If you have any new entries or exits for me today to update on the board, just go ahead, put them in the chat, and we'll get them all updated. But before we get to that, just real quick, just my little daily announcement, little housekeeping issues, but just want to remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one teaching and coaching in the evening time via Skype. The lessons are one-on-one. The course is 15 hours. Each session is 3 hours apiece, and there's 5 sessions. I have been trading for almost 25 years now. I have studied one-on-one extensively with some of the greats out there like Steve Burns, Kerry Lavorne, Dr. Alexander Elder, Larry Williams, and the course that I teach. I take everything that I've learned from these four gentlemen, all different approaches, but all valid, and that's what I teach in the course. So I think it's a great course. It's $1,000. I think it's worth every penny. I actually think it's worth a lot more than that. But when you're done with this course, you should have a good handle on how to approach any kind of market there is. And we go into detail. That's why it's 15 hours, right? So if you decide you want to do it, get some sleep, get ready, because I ask a lot of questions. I throw a lot of curveballs at you. We do a lot of chart study, but in my opinion, the best way to learn anything is just repetition, 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 and looking at real trades. I mean, we go through, we look at trades, and we play them out exactly how we would in real life. And I think that's the real value. So if you're interested, send me an email. The email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do, I'll reply and say, hey, how's it going? Thanks for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. Skype call is free. There's no sales pressure. I will never ask you if you want to take the course. It's just a good time for you to ask me questions about the course that you may have. And then it's a good time for me to ask you questions about you and your trading history and your challenges and your goals. And then, if we decide that we're a good fit, then we can do the lessons in the future. And I always say, look, think about it. If you decide you want to schedule the lessons with me, just get back to me and we'll do it. And then, speaking of only one thumb, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps build the channel, helps keep the channel around, and helps YouTube know that there are some good valuable content for people at this channel, so they'll share it more with their algorithm and all that kind of stuff. So if you could do that for me, if you liked today's podcast and it was helpful, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Okay, so let's see. Where did I get filled today? Let's see. SPY, I got filled at 344.61. Disney, I got filled at 127.54. So my SPY trade, oops, wrong one. My SPY trade for tomorrow's exit is 344.61. I'm up a whopping 1 penny on it already. And Disney, I got filled at 127.54. And that's with the 1050 EMA crossover. Oh no, 54. I'm up a whopping 2 pennies on that one, so that's good. All right, now let's go down and see. So I know Steve. Okay. All right, Steve. Well, we know what's the 1030 cross. Okay. All right, so we got Steve there. Steve's still holding the SPY puts UG on Facebook. Gotcha. Steve is long AGQ, which is double leverage silver at 46.69. Okay. DKNG, Kamal, I've already got you in that, right? Oh, I didn't put your name on there, though. Put your name on your trade. Why? I know I put this. You're in at 41, right? Oh, yeah, there it is, 41. Wow, you made $2 on it already. Beautiful, Kamal. And also in T, QQQ. Okay. Done and done. Quad says I'm out of INSG yesterday. I am in TME. Oh, I don't have TME on here. Quad? Or do I? No. Quad, can you tell me again where you got in TME? Sorry about that. KMX. Yeah, I think I accidentally erased that one. And that was up nicely for you today, so. If I could spell quad, that would be good. Dan's in gold. Oh. I didn't write down what my gold was. 178.82. So that's my other half. So one there, one there. And that's Dan. Dan the man. Jackson says, if you buy Disney, can you tell them to hurry up with bringing back baby yoga? Yes, sir. I will definitely get on the phone to them and let them know. Evan. Oh, this better not have done this to me. Ah! It did. It crashed on me. Gosh, dang it. Everything I put on here is going to be gone. God. Gosh, dang it. Oh, man. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm going to have to go back through the chat and try to put this all back together. Sorry, that's frustrating. Well, let's look at Katie while we're waiting, shall we? Oh, man. Well, while that's going back up, I may just have to look at this later. Gosh darn it. Yeah, spot DKNG. Okay. Quad says Greg's course is totally worth it. He really does have a good balance of trading techniques and it works. He teaches you to be adaptable to the market, which is especially useful these days. Thank you, Quad. Appreciate that, bud. You were a great student. Johnson, hey, Disney, 50 SMA resistance. Does that not matter? Well, I don't have the charts up right this second. They're still trying to boot up, Johnson, but I mean, it depends what approach you're using. If you're using a crossover approach like I did, you can take that into consideration, but it's not required. But if you're just trading it mechanically, then you just trade it mechanically when you have that cross. But I know what you're saying, and it's a good point. But I'm just trading this mechanically, so let's see how much was saved or not saved. I'm gonna have to wait. Maybe until tomorrow. Well, no, I guess I can just watch it later and go through at the end. Yeah, that's true. And then I'll update everything correctly. Sorry about that. All right, here's the moment of truth. Yep, it's all gone. Okay. Well, I'm just going to have to go back through later then and update this. Sorry, I'm not going to try to do it here. I'll just wait till later. Shoot. But I'll get it updated. I'll get it all correct. Kamal says, all critique and welcome on the DKNG. All right, so DKNG is gone now, right? Yeah. So frustrating. Nah, I think that one's there, but not the rest. I think DKNG is just fine, Kamal. It's just that stock scares me. That's all. But you've done really well on it, so I'm glad. And TQQQ. Q's did end up with the V1. The Q's did not end up with the V1, but maybe the TQQs. Close. 42, 49. Yes, you're right, Kamal. They did for sure. Quad says, got in TME. I'll put this one up. On the 15th. Oh, very nice, Quad. 1430. Nice going, beautiful. Frank says, I'm with you in spirit, Kamal and DKNG. I've been watching it myself. Kamal says, thanks, Frank. I bought the 5-minute chart after the test. Evan says, I feel responsible. You were putting my name in when it crashed. That didn't have anything to do with it, buddy. Frank says, Katie was our lady luck in the poem. That's right. Jackson says, Trade Crashigator. Is your laptop or is it just Trade Navigator? No, it's Trade Navigator. I guess just at least didn't happen when putting on the end of the day trade. That's true. You know what? I'll get this all correct. And that way, if I'm wrong, you can just let me know right now. Oh, wait a minute. maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Oh, look at that. I threw a big tissy fit for nothing. I mean, they're gone, but they're not gone. Okay, so I have Steve in. Yes. I also have Steve in AGQ. Where's Steve's AGQ? Yes, that's correct. DKNG and TQQQ. Okay. Got Kamal in there. Oh, it's salvageable, everybody. It's salvageable. Okay. Time we updated for quad. Wow, what a trade, quad. Way to go, bud. Dan's in gold. That's right. Oh, do I dare try it again, Dan? Aha. Gotcha. We got it. Oh, Evans in DKNG. And U Pro. Okay. $60.59. You're in the money a penny. Not bad. Okay. $138.46. Okay. Yas is in DKNG also. I hope that helped, Johnson. So yeah, I mean, you know, I took the Disney crossover just based upon the crossover. I didn't really look at anything else. But since you bring it up, let's take a look and see. Disney SMA resistance, does that matter? I guess I have to get a chart that has a 50 on there, don't I? Yeah, I hear you. It definitely could be an issue, but I'm just taking the trade based upon the crossover, and so we'll see what happens. But it is a good point, Johnson, for sure. Jackson said, Greg's course changed the way I look at trading, and it's benefited my mechanical-only approach immensely. This year has been truly incredible, and I thank Greg for providing this foundation. Oh, thank you, Jackson. Appreciate that. You were a fantastic student also. I've just had so many great students, I'll tell you what. The TQ's critique, Kamal, I think they're fine. I think it's totally fine. You know, I mean, it couldn't get any more clear as a return to value, sideways motion, false breakout, the downside, and trigger. It's over 50. It's perfect. But, you know, I already have the Qs, right? I already have the Qs in the 520 crossover, so that's why I didn't take it. But, yes, if I hadn't had it, that definitely would be something I would be looking at. Okay, and time I got. Frank says, okay, we already talked about that. Frank says, I bought the 5-minute higher low V1 after the test. Oh, is that on DKNG? So let's look at the 5 minute, see what happens. See where Kamal bought. So Kamal says he bought, I bought the 5 minute higher low V1 after the test of the 100 SMA. Okay, you bought it earlier in the day, right? So probably right in here, I imagine. After the test, the 100 on the daily. Yeah, so, maybe here. Here is the higher low. Yeah, that makes sense. Katie was our lady luck in the poem. Oh, good. Now I got you. Now I got you. Yeah, I sure missed that Katie girl. Look at that. Ugh. I lean up against this couch when I do the podcast, and sometimes she'd be right back there with me. This is when I first got her, when she was a bit younger. Yep, there's my lady luck girl right there. Kamal says, Greg, what day is it on your streak? It's 16. Today's day 16. Jackson says, anyone still watching, starting out, take Greg's course. It will help you ground in obeying your rules plans. Truly one of the few beneficial educators out there. Can't speak highly enough. Thanks, Jackson. Appreciate that, buddy. Actually, even if you're not starting out, it will be beneficial. Too often people get blinded by knowledge code, and I think trading details down to process. Okay. Emergency averted with the crash. I thought I had lost everything. I thought I was going to have to get back in there like a forensic accountant and put it all together. All right. Well, what's going on after market here? Anything exciting? Disney is unchanged. Gold is down 3 cents. S&P is up a penny. And the VIX up 10 cents. All right. Well, listen, everybody. That was interesting. What an interesting day. Have a good rest of your day. Please go out and try to do something nice for somebody. You know the routine. Do something nice for a human each day. Please try to do something nice for an animal as well each day. Both of them will appreciate it. It will be good for them. It will be good for you. It's colder here in Utah, so I'm going to go on my hike and I have to put some colder clothes on, or warmer clothes on, I guess. And so that's the plan for the rest of my day. I've been working on this PowerPoint every night. My hands hurt. My head hurts. Like last night, when I got done, I could barely save the file. I was so exhausted. So I'm going to take a night off, and I'm not going to even touch that PowerPoint tonight, just out of health concerns. Okay, so Kamal says up votes to MJ. Kamal says up jokes to Quad Racer. Johnson says GILD got FDA approval. Let's see. GILD. Up 3.79%. Fantastic. And just want to congratulate Johan. He's not here today. Up 17.56% on the day. From entry to close, up 18.78. Wow. What a day for Johan. So we'll have to give him congratulations when next time he comes back and visits the show. Jackson says, hit me up after you finish that PowerPoint for Kamal. Okay, it's not for Kamal though, but good seeing you, Jackson. Jackson says, Kamal, much overdue chat too, sir. Yeah, you guys should get together. So listen, thanks for coming, everybody. Hope you had a good day. Have a good rest of your day. Be good, be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.